Happy Sunday. Guess what we're learning about today? Jesus. Yeah. We learn about Jesus every Sunday. And we learn about him every Sunday because we want to be like him. And we can't be like somebody we don't know, right? So last week, let's see, we learned about Jesus and staying connected to him. We can learn to love and forgive and do hard things. Today, we're going to learn about how powerful Jesus is and how he gives that power to us. So I want you to think about power for a minute. There's a lot of things around us that have power. One obvious one is at your home. Like you have lights, you have a refrigerator, a TV, a wash machine. All those things have power. What do you think is the most powerful thing in your home? I'm not really sure what the most powerful thing is in our home, but I do know that none of them are as powerful as Jesus. And if Jesus gives us power, that just might make you or I the most powerful thing in our home. Pretty cool, right? If you could have a superpower, what would you want it to be? Superpowers, they could be fun, but that's not quite the kind of power that Jesus gives us. Do you guys remember Carl from a few weeks ago? He had a party that he was planning. It was a video I showed you when he got his new tie and he forgot to invite guests. But he has a new powerful video that I want you guys to see. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. Let's see here. Let me make myself small. And here we go.
Tonight on Action News 24, the annual Sloth Marathon has begun with a bang. Be sure to check in another 5 years for the results. Cross-country unicycling, new sports phenomenon, or a disaster waiting to happen? You decide. And up next, Super Carl Action Monster.
Carl, whenever you take one.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Trevor, stop.
Why?
Hey, it's my interview. Sorry about that.
Carl, you are well known for being in the right place at the right time. Can you tell us about some of your heroic actions?
Sure. Well, it all started with my super action cat rescue. Sparkles the cat was trapped in a tree. And I just happened to be the one to jump into super action and climb up and get Sparkles free. That's when I figured out that I'd be a hero. Super Carl Action Monster. Or stand for short. After that, the heroic opportunities just seemed to find me. Rescuing a poor dog trapped on a front porch.
Hey, that's my dog!
Saving people from a fire. Rescuing ducks from a lake. I realized I had powers to stop cars.
How did that make you feel?
Well, it made me feel important. Like people needed me. Without me, who knows what would happen. I felt like I had authority to teach and train others. So I started the training class, the Super Carl Action Monster class, to teach others how to be a scam. People came to my class to learn from me, and one student taught me about someone who had even more amazing powers than I have. I could do pretty great things, but this guy can help sad and lonely people and heal the sick. He's really amazing. And that's when it hit me.
That you don't have awesome power?
Of course I do. But even though I'm an amazing hero, I don't have the most awesome power. Jesus has that. I'm super helpful to a lot of people. But Jesus is the one with awesome power.
Well, that's the big news. Super Carl Action Monster isn't the biggest hero in town.
So what do you think of that, guys? How much power do you think Carl actually had? I I mean, did the ducks really need saving from the pond? The dog on the porch, did he need saving? And can you really stop a car when it's already stopped at a stoplight? Yeah, well, Carl may not have had as much power as he thought he did, but he did have one thing right, and that is that Jesus has the most awesome power, and he offers that power to us. So in today's Bible story, we're going to talk about just how powerful Jesus is and how he shares that power with us. Now, the disciples had already seen Jesus' power in a big way. He died and he came back to life. And then 40 days, he just kept popping up in their life and teaching them more about his power and how to use it. So after the 40 days, though, it was time for him to go back to heaven. So he was going to leave the disciples all alone, or so they thought. So we're going to look at Acts chapter 1, verse 9. And it says this: Jesus was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. They were looking intently up into the sky as he was going, when suddenly 2 men dressed in white stood beside them. Men of Galilee, they said, why do you stand here looking at the sky? The same Jesus which has been taken from you into heaven, he will come back in the same way that you have seen him go into heaven. That sounds pretty powerful to me. So I'm just going to have you imagine something by showing you something in a minute about what that might have looked like for him or for the disciples in a very small way. Okay, I'm back. I know it's dark. I needed a darker room, and I'm going to shut the lights off, and it's going to get even darker. But listen to my voice, and you'll know what to do. So I want you to notice this laser. Let's see if I can get it to where you guys, there you go. Can you see that laser? And I just want you guys to follow it up. And as it goes up, it would be just like the disciples. Whoa, sorry. Watching Jesus ascend into heaven. Just like that. And then, boom, he was gone. Just like that. I'm back again. So just like, uh-oh, I did something. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Whew, sometimes. I need some power to figure out how to do this, right? Anyway, so just like that laser light disappeared, that's just how it was when Jesus ascended into heaven. All of a sudden, he was gone. I want you to think about when you were younger, and things that your parents used to do for you that now you do on your own. So maybe like riding a bike. Maybe mom and dad held that bike for you, or you had training wheels. Or what about swimming? You were used to mom and dad holding you up as you paddled along. Or you had flotation devices. Either way, you had the tools and you were taught how to do what you wanted to do. But you still might have been scared when it was time to do it on your own. And that's kind of how the disciples felt. And Jesus knew that. So he left them a powerful tool to help them after he was gone. And that's going to be found in Acts chapter 1, verse 8. And it says this: you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Now, this power, the Holy Spirit that he was leaving with them, it wasn't just for the disciples. It's for everyone, for all of us. Let's see what happened when the Holy Spirit actually did come down. And that's in Acts chapter 2, verses 1 through 4. Sorry, guys. They were all together in one place. Suddenly, a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from heaven. Now, I don't know if you guys were around when we had a storm the other day, but the wind was super loud and powerful. It was like that. So this blowing and violent wind came from heaven, and it filled the whole house. So the windows didn't keep it out. It came right into the house. And where they were all sitting, they saw what seemed to be like tongues of fire that separated. They separated, and it came to rest on each and every one of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit, and they began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled them. So we're going to stop right there, and I want you guys to think about something that glows in the dark. What do you do when you want something to glow in the dark? If you say have a sticker or a little toy, do you put it in a box and hide it away? Or do you keep it in the dark? No, you have to expose it to light, right? In order for it to absorb the light and be exposed to the light, then it will glow. Oh, sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, so here I am in that dark room again, and I want to show you something about glowing and being exposed to the light. So I'm going to shut the lights off again. Here we go. Now, as you see this glow, do you see that, guys? Oh, I hope so. There you go. So the power of this glow, it doesn't come from the paint, and it doesn't come from the paper, and it doesn't come from me. It comes from being exposed to the light. Pretty cool, huh? And being exposed to the light is the same thing as being exposed to Jesus for the Holy Spirit to be in us. Wait, I said that wrong. Being exposed to the light for something to glow is the same as being exposed to Jesus for us, for the Holy Spirit to be inside of us and give us his power. So we get that power by being connected to Jesus and thinking about that power. It would be cool to have superpowers, to be invisible or to fly. But what kind of power was Jesus actually offering us? So if we read Acts 1:8 again, it says this, and this is a promise of God. It says, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and all Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth." Now, what kind of power was that he was giving them? It was power to share Jesus with other people, to everyone around them. And if we read a little bit farther into Acts 2, verse 5 and 6. This is where it gets fun. Let's see here. Okay. So now there were staying in Jerusalem God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven. That's a lot of nations. So when they had heard this sound, that blowing wind sound that we were talking about earlier, when they heard that sound, a crowd came and gathered in amazement. They were like, "What's going on?" And then each one of them could hear them speaking. Each one of them heard them speaking. That's the disciples. They heard the disciples speaking in their own language. So these people were from different countries and they all spoke different languages. But when the Holy Spirit came into that room and they began to speak in the tongues, everybody could understand what the disciples were saying. That's huge power, guys. So for the disciples, that meant that they were speaking in a language they didn't even know, but people could understand them. And that power is the same power that Jesus gives us. Now, I have a video that I want you to see, a song about God's power, and I think you're going to enjoy it. It's really fun. I got to make myself small. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. Okay. Feel free to dance, stand up, and enjoy the song. Sing along if you can.
My God is powerful. He stands invincible. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. Through God, I will overcome. He's the rock that will never move. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. His power moves the earth and sky, takes me to the highest heights. My God is powerful. His power will forge
forgive and heal, crushes darkness, drives out fear. My God is powerful. My God is powerful. He stands invincible. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. Through God, I will overcome. He's the rock that will never move. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. His power moves the earth and sky, takes me to the highest heights. My God is powerful. His power will forgive and heal, crushes darkness, drives out fear. My God is powerful. My God is powerful. He stands invincible. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. Through God, I will overcome. He's the rock that will never move. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. My God is powerful. He stands invincible. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him. Through God, I will overcome. He's the rock that will never move. I will hold on to him. I will hold on to him.
Pretty cool, huh, guys? I don't know about you, but that weather, the snow, looks pretty refreshing after all the hot weather we've been having, right? That's another power God has, right? To control the weather, the clouds, the sky, the snow, the heat. And although Jesus is in heaven with God his Father, he left the Holy Spirit, and he's always here for us and in us. And as we stay connected to Jesus, that Holy Spirit fills us, and he gives us power over anxiety, over fear. He gives us power to share his word, his name, with others, and to share his love. He gives us power whenever we need it, for whatever we need it for. And let's try using that power today, tomorrow, and we'll talk about something else even more powerful next week. How's that? Okay? I love you guys. You have a good Sunday. Bye.